Yo, 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 yo. Round of applause, round of applause. And see how that comes through there. I'm not sure. It's just a test run, y'all. Seeing how this works, but we're gonna go for it like we know it. But again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of How Did We Get Here? I'm your host, Jay Carter, and the man that has always heard and never ever seen is here. He's not on mic yet, but he's here. Just
Way back you. Way back.
just came in from a hard day's work. But I'm trying to see if y'all can hear the vibes that we usually have on there, man. But we just playing with this streaming app, man, or gonna see how this live goes and if it goes to our YouTube and all that good stuff. But again, better than your average is the channel and the movement. How did we get here is the show. We got two cousins that are like brothers talking any and everything in the process. How did we get here? So thanks for joining in. We just wanted to jump on real quick. We just did an IG live. Skeens was not here for that, but let that breathe a little bit in the background. But the IG live that we did was basically asking, are men trash or are you just a trash interviewer? I think is the title. So we had some back and forth with it. One of the homies, Twiz, got on. A couple of the ladies that got on. And, so we went back and forth with that. But Skeens and I had this conversation a while back. And if you look at the title of this, it's basically talking about, are we addicted to delusion? The Derrick Jaxn effect. Are we addicted to the delusion? Are we, do we love it? Do we get high off of delusion? Do we get high off what we know isn't real, but we want to pretend? And to piggyback off of that, what we discussed on IG Live, where we were talking about, is that women oftentimes will see something or know something early on and ignore it. And Twiz, he gave me some pushback, which it was warranted, because I gave the example schemes. Let me know what you think. And I was like, when we go to the produce section of the grocery store, you check the produce. You pick it up, you feel it, you look at it. You're like, man, them bananas are bruised or whatever, you put them back. So Twiz is like, sometimes though, you maybe can't tell. So I said, yeah, but here's the thing. Even after you take that joint home, there's still a process that you go through. When you cook it and prepare it, if it's not good, you throw it away and you get rid of it. And oftentimes we'll find that in the relationships that once we even get that last opportunity, if you will, whether it's months, weeks, months, or years later, that we still are partaking in this spoiled and rotten fruit, or whatever the case may be. So, as you guys know, self-proclaimed or maybe socially regarded as relationship expert Derrick Jaxn has been under fire. And Skeens and I, is funny, not saying that we was on a Nostradamus or a Miss Cleo type vibe, but I'm just saying, man. And it was actually Skeens was sitting and thinking about it, is that as much of a relationship quote unquote expert as dude was, Skeens brought up, man, I wonder what his success rate is. How many women, off of his advice, are in successful, healthy relationships? How many are married? And so, to fast forward a bit, we're gonna let it breathe a little bit. We're gonna be on here long to see how this turn out. But dude recently got jammed up because he was found to have had some extramarital things that happen. And we're not dudes that jump on anybody for that, because things happen in relationships. We make mistakes as humans, and then we hope that in the relationship that you can get healing, you can go to counseling, and you make that decision to work through it together, right?
Yes, sir.
Because things do happen. So we're not on here to jump on him for that. But here's why dude is getting all the smoke right now, because he was the simpest of simpest dudes, man. And I mean, he was giving videos talking about Cash for doing exactly to the T what he was doing, all the way to the point where he was even, it looks like from some of Tasha TKO, this chick has been on this dude's neck. You know what I'm saying? You know, it looks like some of the videos, if you look in the background, that he was like, even, you know, because he always be in the car, you know what I'm saying? But it looked like he was out in front of one of his side joints house.
Yes, sir.
You can like see the columns. She's like, these are the columns from my house. And there's some other background stuff that has come out. But Skeens, what you think, man?
Well, you know, the produce section conversation was a great analogy.
Okay.
But you know what? Even though Twitter said you can't tell, that's what you also have.
What's that?
You have a receipt to take that back.
Right.
Get your money.
Get your money back. Yeah.
Or also exchange it for a better product.
There you go. Yeah.
So just because what you purchase is damaged is not going to be good for you.
Yeah.
So what you gonna do? You gonna keep it? Eat spoiled food,
right?
And deal with the consequences of what you ingest into your body. You gonna waste money and throw it away, or are you gonna go get your refund or take it back and get the proper thing that's necessary to make you happy?
Right. Yeah.
So it's still part of the vetting process. So, well, when you ask about are we addicted to the illusion? Yeah,
right.
Because it allows you to continue to feel good about everything and feel nothing at the same time. To feel is actually means that you really have to sit down and basically process the ongoings of your life or your day to day.
Okay.
But if there's an illusion, I see hope. Only thing I'm striving for is hope, even though that hope is an illusion. You know, like how they talk about people when they get in the desert, they see the mirages.
Yeah. I like that.
I see that mirage.
Right.
I know there's nothing here, but my subconscious is telling me, hey, that item that has presented itself to me is better than me actually dealing with the realization that I'm thirsty, I'm starving, there's nothing around. And you continue to live in that grandiose lifestyle or ideology. Guess what happens? You die, and then the vulture come pluck your skin. Those vultures are the people that you allow around you to put you when you put your guard down or live in that lifestyle. Are the people that you interject into your life. They don't just have to be your mate.
Right.
That can be toxic coworkers that you develop a relationship outside of a work relationship.
Right.
Friends or family members. Some of your boys. Sometimes some of our worst relationships are the relationships that we stayed in too long, and sometimes that can be with friends.
Right. It's all types of relationships. Yeah, indeed.
Everything you buy from the grocery store has an expiration date on it.
Absolutely.
So sometimes you have to look at it in those things, and unfortunately, you know, we hold on to the quote unquote day one. And when you say it out loud, it sounds great, and which a lot of times it is. But if your day one is causing you to have a bad day, what do you do?
Right.
Because everybody is not meant to be there with you at all times for the long run. Right. Some people are there to help you to make the necessary adjustments within yourself.
Yep.
To be the person that you need to be for you, for one, before anything. Because in order for you, if you're not able to be the person you're meant to be for you, you can't be that person for no one else that comes into your life. So you can't pour into anyone else when your glass is empty.
Right. Yeah. And I think, we were talking about, like you were saying, the refund once you have evaluated, and what we have to take into consideration as well is when we're in. Again, we were talking about what we always talk about on the show of being intentional in the
Mm-hmm.
relationships, right? And when you make that investment, you got to think of what the cost is to you
Mm-hmm.
by allowing yourself to ignore those signals. And one of the examples I gave was, I told was tell talking with Twiz about, and we'll go back to Derrick in a second, but what I was talking about is, I told Twiz, I said, imagine if all of us, we 40s, and so like, imagine we're grown, you're in a relationship, and you and a young lady decide that, hey, we're gonna take this to the next level. We're gonna decide to be intimate together. The medium for exchange is that we are going to use protection. And I said, if that dude then removes protection without you knowing and shoot your club up, and you still stick with him after that, he's like, oh yeah. And then Crook was down in the comments saying that she knows a whole bunch of women that have ignored that red flag. Like, that's common amongst grown men. So again, that goes back to, and that was on the IG we were talking about. Is it that men are trash, or are the people that are evaluating and allowing them access are trash?
Well, the question is this: who's more at fault? The person that shot the club up, or the person that continued to let
You see what I'm saying?
keep
Right.
coming to the gun range?
Okay, you know what I'm saying? You can't give access to the gun range,
No.
giving them free reign. You know what I'm saying? So, going back though, so Skeen, I think, with the Derrick Jaxn thing, and women, listen to me, women, hear my heart. This is what happened. Derrick Jaxn, in my opinion, he started off with his chick, and she, they met in college.
Mm-hmm.
He was a football player. There's pictures of him, and you can kind of see that beginning thing with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's it's kind of what you've seen before. What happened with Derrick is that he became more famous, which gave him more access, and he had more money. And I think that he was trying to do the right thing, because she seems like a wholesome, very, church straight laced kind of girl is what she seems like. And again, I don't know her, but this is just based off my perception from what I've seen. And as we know, as his fame and finance grew, the level of chick that he could holler at changed. I was telling Twiz them about how sometimes, and we're kind of going back and forth, but y'all see what the point is. We were discussing how women can be more of an average type chick, but want an outlier, 1% type dude. And I was like, the outlier schemes are, the outlier over here is extremely handsome and extremely wealthy. The outlier over here is broke and ugly. Mm-hmm. Most of us fall somewhere towards the middle. Yep. That's where we fall. So Derrick, not knocking, it seemed like she's loyal. He had babies with her, got married to her. She seems like a more middle of the road type chick, mm-hmm. with fame, wealth, social media presence. Mm-hmm. He got access to that other, on this farther side of women, and he himself went on that side, because I ain't knocking the brother. Looked like he, sick. I was, me and Eric were talking about it. He was like, hey man, tell me about this Derrick, this dude, man. I said, dude, he about 6'2", 230, 230, he cut up, you know what I'm saying? Got his shirt off, got abs, the whole nine. And women, here's the part why I want women. Are you addicted to Are you addicted to delusion? You looked at that guy and believed the fallacy of what he. Now, here's the thing, women. If somebody is always telling you exactly what you want to hear all the time, you should instantly feel that there's got to be something wrong with this. But women, again, addicted to the delusion that there's a guy like Derrick that look like Derrick Jaxn saying what he says, and that, oh yeah, that dude is 100% on his square and doing it exactly what he's saying. You're addicted.
Bro,
That's a fairy tale.
absolutely. Well, one thing that we see, a lot of people are also missing the steps that got Derrick to being the Derrick now, right? We see the end product of Derrick, right?
Mm-hmm.
The way he looks now,
Right.
Derrick, if you look at some of the older pictures, he wasn't the greatest looking guy.
No,
he's never been a bad looking guy.
No, not at all. But
you can tell that he looks more of a late bloomer.
Right. Exactly.
So
that's very key.
We don't know at their time while they're in college who was he.
Right.
So I know some friends. I have friends that was athletes. They were nobodies.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Just because they wore the school uniform or whatever. A lot of them. I'm not gonna say a lot of them. There was a decent percentage of them. People walk by them every day. You know what they would do to get notoriety? They would put their jersey on and walk around campus.
Right.
So he's, oh, you play? Yeah. So at that point in time in college, we don't know who was where, in terms of the totem pole.
Mm-hmm.
She could have been the one that was more popular than him at that time. She
Yep.
could have been the one with more of the finances.
Yep.
Because we see situations that sometimes the women are the one financing guys when they see them when they latch on early. Not saying like latch on, but when they meet them earlier in the process, she sees potential.
Yeah, like I'm looking. Y'all should be able to see my screen. So this is when the brother evolved. And Skeens, you can't see it, but he got the low cut V-neck shirt on. He swole. You know what I'm saying?
And we don't know the process of who he was at that time. I said she could have been the financier at that time.
Yep.
So we don't know what came about to get them here. But we was talking about he gives women everything that they want at all times.
Right.
But the thing that people always miss, and we talked about it before this even came out, it was always from a narcissistic perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Because he, in the midst of caping and telling women what they wanted to hear, didn't give women the credit that they deserve from being strong enough to hear the truth and dealing with it accordingly.
Right. Yep.
So by me lying to you, telling you all the great things, everything you want to hear, I never allowed you the opportunity to press forward or make the necessary adjustments to be prepared for these other outcomes and other things that may come happen.
Right.
Say, for instance, when Jordan had to fade away.
Right.
Fade away. That was his move. But Jordan also had a counter move.
Okay. Yes, sir.
He never allowed the women to develop a counter move for these things to understand this is how this is what I got to deal with. This is the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Here are the other reasons as well as other things they should be looking for. But and also with him, he was always pointing the finger, telling men what you shouldn't be doing, there was no sympathy for you if you did this. Instead of him being real,
right?
If you cheat on your woman, there's no sympathy for you. You get what you deserve. He never really looked at and told people about healing.
Mm-hmm.
He never.
True.
How many times did we ever hear Derrick talk about counseling?
Yep.
Therapy.
Yep.
Forgiveness.
Yep.
And forgiveness doesn't mean that we have to stay together.
Right. Yeah.
But
Go ahead. That's key.
Because that forgiveness is really for me.
Yep.
And if we have kids, that forgiveness is there is there to allow our kids to blossom and become the people that they meant to be, and to understand what is meant to what is meant what it looks like to see a healthy relationship between male and female, that even though they're not together, but healthy co-parenting.
Mm-hmm.
Those different things we never heard him, actually give real advice. If anything, he's shown that he's a man. Like Rocky, like when he fought Drago.
Right. He's not a machine.
He's
a man.
You know what I'm saying? So in the midst of being a man, what he should have did was give steps on the steps he took to become a better person.
That's it.
He said, "Oh, I gave my life to God, but my life became hell." Then God was throwing you back.
Right.
Why you go fishing? Well, I don't keep no, throw them back.
Yeah.
Because when you give your life to God now, you are going to face different things, but that's when your faith needs to be strongest.
Right. Absolutely.
But he told you, if you listen to him, when he was going through it, he said, "F it, I'm done with it." Then you told me that you really showed me that you really didn't have faith.
Right.
That you wasn't
right.
You was only ready to rock with God when it was the good times.
Right. Yeah.
When it's bad, that's when God wants you to be. You gonna show your true character. As we talk about the extremes, you're gonna show your true character at the extremes of you win the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
That money's gonna make you more who you are.
Mm-hmm.
When you're at your worst,
mm-hmm.
that bottom is gonna display who you really are.
Right.
He displayed who he was.
Yeah.
He told us in the midst of
yeah.
talking too much and all the other different things, and then he has basically used his wife as a human shield.
Let's talk about let me do one thing, but I want you to go back to what we were just talking about again, the hypocrisy that we've seen in the treatment of his wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he did claim that, I can't remember, one of his early books that he wrote allegedly was kind of about what they had gone through. Okay, let's say we shoot him some bail and we believe that.
But he never said that was about his life.
Right. So I'll shoot him some bail, but he never gave his advice from a position of saying, this is the toxicity that I showed as a man.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I moved as a dude. I'm telling you from personal experience,
mm-hmm.
right? And I was the other day, one of my homies had posted something about it, and I dropped this comment. So I was like, Derrick Jaxn came across my radar a few years back,
mm-hmm.
and I got it instantly, meaning I could instantly see, okay, his audience that he's shooting to is probably 90% women. Okay, so I said, dude is swole, and then he's tickling the ears of women in a skewed fashion. Even as a quote unquote pro man, which I consider myself, I try to be fair and nuanced in my opinions. So, and I went on to say some other stuff. So even though Skeens and I, we come on here and we talk a lot of, men versus women kind of stuff, we want to kind of playfully talk about the differences in the dynamics in us, but we want to give information that is true about all of the ish and bull that we bring to the table. We can't just say it's so skewed one way. And then again, as adults, we should want to take accountability for where we come up short. There was a Derrick Jaxn video. I may be misstating it some, but I believe it was something to the effect where he talked, I don't know if it was a question, but he was talking about basically, if you get out of a relationship with a dude and he's better in his next relationship, it's not just because he's better and has matured. It's because he's still trying to get back at you. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what? So this dude's saying that as a man, and here's the thing, guys, sometimes relationships don't work. Sometimes relationships end amicably. And you both go back and say, man, I learned from those things we did and I applied it over here with him or with her. And now this relationship is, they're like, nah, that mean that dude's still trying to basically boo boo with you. And I'm like, come on, man.
That was the lesson plan. That relationship was that third grade class that you had to pass to get to the fourth grade.
Okay, you know what I'm saying?
You didn't come back to the third grade teacher as a fourth grader and sit in the same desk.
Right, exactly.
Or go back and say, well, I only passed to prove you wrong.
Right, exactly. So, Skeens and I were talking about this too. So, here's the part of this whole thing that is crazy. This dude built his empire, if you will, off of giving pro-woman advice, right? We find that he comes out, he say he didn't cheat. He says that, I had a sexual relationship without having sex. He then brings his wife on.
Bill Clinton, I did not inhale. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Now, she did put her mouth on me. Hillary, she put her mouth on me and she did a good job. She did better than you. But so he said, then he comes back with his wife holding her hand and she's on there. And again, poor thing, but he then goes and says that somebody was like, well, I wish you would do one of your reaction videos to yourself. He does a third person reaction video of himself. And I can see what they were thinking, but based off her body language. But knowing the situation, with Derrick Jaxn, I know that the wife is probably just that way, And I'm like, so anyway, Skeens and I were talking about, again, he's giving pro-woman advice all this time, and women are killing and slandering and slaying the wife. They got cheated on. They too concerned about how the chick, even how she looked and what she had on her head. Like,
what happened to the women sticking together?
Okay,
and the women
talk about
empowerment.
It. Talk about it.
Black girl magic and so on and so forth.
Right.
Instead of saying, "Hey, sister, hey, we with you.
Right.
We're gonna pray for you.
Right. Yep.
Hey, you deserve better." No, we're not hearing that she deserved better. We're talking about the bonnet that she got on.
Right.
We're talking about the fatigue outfit. Yep. She don't look that good. Everything that now she's been torn down enough.
Indeed.
But yet and still, it is the women that are continuing to tear this woman down even more. Yeah, she's at her. She's pretty low. Now, what if this, with all of the continued attack, right? This woman just commit suicide.
Okay.
And heaven forbid anything happen, but for the people that are out here judging, passing, laughing, pointing fingers, making all these comments about her, reposting, take that in account that living by the golden rule is really a thing.
Indeed.
Because you put yourself in that person's shoes and you say, hey, what if this was my significant other or family or whatever that person put me in this position? She didn't sign up to be an influencer or
not at all
personality online, because before this we never knew. I don't think most people even knew he was married.
A lot of people didn't, bro. But I seen that the chick would be at all the little live events and different things he would do and stuff like that.
I don't follow all his moves that
no,
way.
Me neither.
But it wasn't like now as part of getting it, as we talk about being an example, right? Of all these, you should do this. You shouldn't be this way. Being an example is showing yourself as being a proud married man.
Right.
I'm proud of my chick. These are the daily words I tell her every day to give her reassurance that I love her and that she's first.
Right.
Instead of me pointing fingers that you shouldn't do, tell me what you're doing that's making your relationship successful.
Right.
Because a lot of the best preachers are people that have been through it. Because
absolutely.
they have a true testimony.
Absolutely.
Even as an athlete, right? A lot of athletes have a better relationship or have more respect for the coach that was an athlete.
There you go.
Because
he been in the trenches. He been there. He's telling me from experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So some of the credence and the realistic point of view was that he should have given us real game about what worked for him,
Right.
what isn't working for him,
Right.
what are your struggles.
Right.
Because there are other people that are struggling, and there are a lot of people, men, that are being talked down to by him, which in turn, his message is resonating to women, and women thinking that all of these men, you can be perfect, you can be this, and you are basically you're the levee that's in New Orleans.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of relationships could be saved.
Right.
You're breaking that levee down, and you're destroying a lot of relationships because you're giving unrealistic conversations. And now these women are looking at them guys in the wrong eye. They leaving the man that really could have been there for them.
Right.
The man that was really meant for them.
Right.
Or a woman, or whatever your preference.
Right. Yeah.
They're for you. By listening to this person telling you that they ain't good enough, okay. As he said, that person get to the next relationship, and now they doing this and that. If you gave time, that person could have been really matured and became the person that you was really meant to be with. Now you broke up with this person, or you won't give them a fair chance because of these words. Now you're miserable and lonely because all of Derrick's talks, right? He wasn't talking to basically create more of an ecosystem of happy couples. He was doing it to pad his pockets, bro, because we know the money is in the medicine, not the cure.
Talk about it.
So that if I continue to spew this message, you're going to keep coming back to me for advice.
Yes, sir.
You're going to keep coming to these seminars, buying these books.
Yes, sir.
And you continue to read these books alone.
I mean, he's been promoting the books even in the midst of this.
Yes. Or you go on these different seminars with your girls. Yep. All of y'all single.
Yep.
And everybody preaching this hateful message. But because of this man,
yep,
he's not preaching. Hey, you come to my seminar. No, y'all, the couple come to my seminar. No, I want you to keep coming. If anything, real success would have been if you don't come back again. I don't want to repeat offender.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
That's real success.
Talk about it.
I don't want you coming back.
Here's the thing, and just real quick, Skeens, let me jump in. Is when I would work with people, I work with a handful of people on, diet, exercise like that. One of the first thing I always try to teach people is that it's not so much about the exercise, about the food. And a part of my programs, what I would do is give folks a scale so they can start weighing their food. And I would give them not just a straight up mapped out diet plan, but I would give them a basic template of the ounces that you and your calories for the day, ounces of protein that you basic. And then at the bottom, I would put how much, carbs and fats and protein is in, so you can learn how to do it.
Absolutely.
Not so I am doing it for you forever. But again, as they were talking about with him and his narcissistic ego, and even for us as people, Skeens and I, y'all, we give a little counsel to folks. We do a little bit of counseling. We give a lot of free counsel, which we about to start charging for, man. Coming soon. That's going to be one of our next business ventures. But one of the things is when you, if you let your ego get out of check, you can get high off of, oh man, such and such always coming to me for, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is that you want to give them enough knowledge and information to grow and be able to sustain on their own, and then take some of that game and give it to somebody else.
Absolutely. Another thing, I don't know if you ever watched American Gods. Right?
Nah, what's that?
It's a show that comes on. I forgot what it is. I watched a couple episodes, and they show these different beings they walk around as humans, but they're actually gods.
Well, yeah, I think you started telling me about that.
So some of them, a lot of the god principles that these different people have, they need constant praise. They need constant people sowing into them and whatever.
Right.
So in the atmosphere of Derrick, to a lot of these women, Derrick is the entity that they praise and worship, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about it.
So they look at him not as a man, they look at Derrick as their almighty to a certain extent, right?
Yep.
But part of the congregation of Derrick also wants tithes and offerings, right?
Talk about it.
His tithes and offering is
Yep.
coming to me and giving me what I want, right?
Yep.
So giving me what I want is one, finance.
Yep.
Giving me what I want is attention.
Yep.
Giving me what I want is a little bit of extra activity on the side.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
A little bit of bedroom activity.
Absolutely.
There's a meeting in my bedroom and so on and so forth.
My.
Hey, that's as crazy as what you call it. So, but that in the midst of that congregation of Derrick, it's happening on both sides. It's becoming almost a real religion. Yep. So now, what do you do when you find out that the preacher or the entity that you prayed to, or looked up to, or worshipped to a certain extent, is flawed?
Right.
What do? What is that? Does that religion crash? Because you can't continue to sing the same song. Right. I can't continue to worship you the same way when I find out that you are not who you really were. Can he continue to give relationship advice from the stance that he's given? No. His credibility is shot. That brother got to work at Walmart. It's over. Right. Because everything that, you know how you talking about, what was the comedian was saying about his bodyguard? Talking about you quit the job.
Oh, I had the bodyguard. He got knocked out. He said he quit. He said, "When did I quit? When your back hit the ground." Boy, Tony Roberts, I think. Yeah. But that's
Derrick. His back has hit the ground.
Yes, he got knocked out.
You can't come back to work as bodyguard no more. It's over. Right. Yeah. Now, this is really the time, and instead of him deflecting and talking about these different relationships that I was in a sexual relationship, but we didn't have sex. Right. And even like the time frame when you listen to his original conversation, when he was talking about his wife left. Right. But then when you hear her, you're talking about the filing divorce. Then when you hear her, she contradicted. She said, "Well, I told him I wasn't gonna come back until he started doing these things." The time frame didn't match up. Right. But I'm not here to knock her down. But I understand that she is there trying to save face for him. And,
yeah, man, she's doing her best to salvage this whole situation.
If for more of anything, right? She is doing what every person in any type of relationship would want their mate to do. Right. Stand with them through the storm in the public. Right. Yeah. Now behind closed doors, she may be busting his head.
Right. But giving him the business.
But in the public, there needs to be a united front to the public. That's no different than with parents. When the kids try to go to one parent and say, "I want this," and then when the other parent said, "No, united front." That's what she's showing. And like I said, instead of people praising her or appreciating her, trying to take this stance or taking on her, putting a meal on her plate that she shouldn't have when she wasn't meant to eat all this. Right. They piling on to this woman for no reason.
Right. And I think even in all of this, right? What's the lesson learned? The lesson learned is this. We gotta watch. Can't y'all see these fake? The rap version of TD Jakes prophesying on all y'all CDs and tapes won't break you a crumb off the little bit he makes, but this is whom with you want to place your fate. That's a Jay-Z, Yeah. So we gotta watch how much we invest into people, whether it's Skeens, whether it's me, we're all flawed.
Absolutely.
Every single one of us. It's no different why I talk about in relationships. And while there is something that we get from our mate in having that healthy relationship, all of me cannot be in all of her. And all of her cannot be in all of me, because I will disappoint you. Let me go ahead and take, hey, if you're wondering if I'm going to disappoint you, yeah, I am. I am. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, as we talk about schemes with balance and intention, I'm not giving myself a pass to just be out here missing the mark, but a part of this human journey, I am going to make it. I am gonna miss the mark. I'm not gonna make it every time. Jordan didn't drop 30 every night. You know what I'm saying?
I think if more of us lead with our flaws,
there you go.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You can find the percentage of you finding someone that will truly love you despite you.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Not the highlights of who you are.
Right. Yeah.
But if I can love you despite all of these things that I know up front about you,
go. Mm-hmm.
Then you find who is really there for you.
Yeah, and we were talking about that on IG, is that talking about that beginning phase of a relationship, you know what I'm saying? And I think, and that's a part of the maturation process of the relationship, is that honesty, but we need to do that on the front side.
But you know what? In the midst of the initial relationship meeting,
mm-hmm.
The highlight package is when the first date. Everyone does want to have a good time,
right?
Yep. I want to go bowling. I want to go to the movies. I want all these entertainment things.
Mm-hmm.
In the midst of all the entertainment, I'm missing the medicine.
Right.
I'm not,
right.
I'm not getting a reel of who you are. Hey, you want to do something different?
Yeah.
Let's meet at a therapy session.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's real.
Just throwing it out there. Your first date is at a therapist.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Hey, let's break down, because you get to find out what you can and can't deal with. What makes this person tick. You know what I'm saying? We go out. I blow $1,000 on you on our first date. Right? That doesn't happen.
No, but go ahead.
But the grandioso mindset of first date. I rent out the whole movie theater. Mm-hmm. Rent out a restaurant. Mm-hmm. Go get a limousine, a helicopter flying, and all these different things. In the midst of you having fun and enjoying, and you're starstruck about all of the things that's going on. Mm-hmm. We don't have time to have a real conversation.
No, you don't.
We're not talking in the movie theater.
No, we're not.
You know what I'm saying? Driving around, we listen to music. We're in the club, we listen to music. We're talking, but more of anything, the real interaction is led by the vibes. Sometimes it's led by libations.
Yes, sir.
And if you're in a hookah lounge, whatever the different environments that you're in, but these are the environments that you want to be in. Yep. That makes you feel comfortable.
Yep.
Sometimes it's best to be uncomfortable.
Yep.
Let's start uncomfortable first.
There you go. We're gonna start the movie. We're going to therapy first.
We gotta get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Right.
So when it's time to be comfortable, hey,
I like that.
You good. There's a reason why Floyd wins so many fights.
Talk about it.
He's comfortable. Muscle memory.
Yes, sir.
He's breathing. Yep. He's relaxed.
Yep.
Or you watch MMA where they tell hey, relax. Breathe.
Yep. Yep.
That's part of it. So because when you get too now you're tapping out.
Right.
And that's a lot of what happens. We get these different
You know what?
These different situations.
Speed, I have speed dating, you have speed therapy. Yeah. Okay. Speed therapy session.
Because we gotta realize, right? Us continue doing the same thing that we've been doing is the reason why the divorce rate is so high. Mm-hmm. It's not by accident.
Right. Yeah.
There's a reason why these things are happening.
And it's just like we was talking about with Derrick is all this stuff, y'all. And this brother, y'all, he said, I don't know how much of, I'm sure he maybe had politicked his funds from this stuff into other things, but this brother said he was pulling 6 figures a month.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So with somebody this successful and this great I'm just curious, what is his rate of return on successful relationships?
Guarantee it's extremely low. Because
I guarantee Derrick was making more single women than he was women in relationships.
I gotta keep the congregation full.
I gotta keep you coming back.
Absolutely. That's why I said the money is in the medicine.
You're no good to me if you're happy with a man. You're no good to me, I tell you. You're no good.
Bro, the real measure of success is no repeat customers.
Yeah, when you're not coming back to me.
And you give me a testimonial of what your new relationship is like.
Right.
That's what make me happy when I get to see that you're in a thriving, prosperous relationship.
Yo, how would y'all believe that a health and fitness coach was successful if all his clients were still obese? Okay. You know what I'm saying?
We thought Freedom coach is pretty. She's been hired for a long time.
You know what I'm saying? You got DJ Khaled results when he was on weight, whatever the heck DJ Khaled was doing. Like, look at Khaled, man. Khaled got them ills up off the board.
I wasn't losing. I was maintaining.
I was watching my weight. I kept looking at it every morning. It didn't change. I said, okay.
Maintaining. I wasn't watching weight maintaining.
Yeah, I didn't say I was weight losing, but so yeah, man. Anyway, man, just want to give our take, man, and again, honestly, they even said the boy Derrick Jaxn had a deal allegedly with Bishop Jakes, like a 6-figure deal. He's gonna do some relationship stuff. So,
vetting process, man.
Yeah.
Vetting.
Yeah. So it's the Skeens talking about the vetting process. Again, we gotta watch where we put our trust and our faith. You know what I'm saying? And again, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm talking to ladies because it's Derrick Jaxn. It's no different than what happened is they believe the fallacy that they believe in relationships. They took that same want and desire and placed it over there. Because really, again, as we saying, he represented what they want in a man.
Absolutely.
Derrick Jaxn was tall, dark, handsome, swole up, cut up,
and
said everything I want him to say.
High earning guy, but the higher up that he earned, the higher up the mountain he was, the less grounded he was.
Right. And I was talking to Eric about this, and again, it doesn't mean anything, but it made me think. One of the chicks that was talking with Tasha TKO was a physician. Y'all, she said that Derrick would wait in the car while she would be doing the surgery, and he's in the car beating off, sending her videos of it. She let him smash in the car, and then they were having unprotected sex after about 2 weeks. And she said something along the line. She said that she got pregnant, and then she said something to the effect of basically, I didn't keep the baby because I ain't serious with him like that. I'm like, this is a physician talking? Again, the delusion, man.
Well, also, I don't want to get pregnant.
Right.
Is your statement.
Right.
And that's what she said. She told him, I don't want to get pregnant. Right. But yet and still.
Right.
What's the chance of you getting pregnant without any protection?
Right.
Yeah, I think it's slightly higher than it would be than if you were to have something, have some form of protection.
Yeah, wrap some aluminum for.
Whether that or you get on the shot or whatever you need.
Yeah, whatever it is, but
whatever necessary to combat you getting what you don't want.
Yeah.
So man.
So anyway, y'all, we gonna see how this live little deal turns out. But we just want to hop on a little quick topic real quick. But again, let's leave out with some of the beautiful tunes of Mr. Brandon Baggett. But again, y'all, this has been a live episode of How Did We Get Here? I'm your man, Jay Carter, and the man that has always heard and never seen Skeens.
That's me.
AKA, I forgot, the background killer.
Background killer,
AKA Dr. Claw, AKA the Wizard of Oz. But y'all have a good night and a great weekend, and we'll holler at y'all on the next one. Peace.